Okay, this is the Tonal, and behind us we have the Peloton bike and the Peloton Tread Plus. Let's talk about the instructors. I think that the Tonal overall, their direction is about making sure that you have a personalized, smart home gym that is learning your strength and helping you reach a bigger goal of getting stronger. And they're less entertaining, and that's okay. When I say less entertaining, they're actually choosing to not have the chit chat, and the music is less of an importance. Even though they do have really good music, I would say that's a big plus. The instructors on there are more instructional, so they're going to coach you, and it's less entertaining. And I'll get to that. I'll explain that more in a second. So with the Peloton bike and the treadmill, they're great pieces of equipment. What I found is that there's a little bit more repetition in the type of workout that you do, especially the Peloton bike. When you're doing something like that, when you're just kind of like grinding on the gears for 20, 30 minutes every single day, it's kind of repetitive. I think that if you don't have some sort of motivation or some sort of cheering that's happening, that social aspect, and kind of the instructors being entertaining, it's easier to fall off the bandwagon for those types of workouts. Truth be told, I watch a lot of my other friends that have the Peloton, and I've seen their engagement decline a lot over the last year. And that could be maybe seasonality, but I think after kind of using these three pieces of equipment over the last year, I think that the Peloton bike requires a lot of entertainment. They're trying to give you 20 to 30 minutes of a class, which, it's high energy, high dopamine and strong personalities. Not knocking anybody that likes this, but like some of the instructors, maybe this is like earlier in the days, but you're like riding and they're like, here, take my hand, I won't let you go. And you're like, what the heck is going on here? Like, I guess they're giving emotional support. And I should make fun of that. I think that's important. I think they're trying to help out in the way that they can. That's actually applaudable, so that's good. But it just, I guess for me, like when I'm working out, for my personality type, I don't need that type of emotional support. The instructors in the classes that they had were geared more for kind of entertaining folks, and I get it. And sometimes it's nice. They'll say stuff like, "We're one Peloton. We're in this together. We're going to do this together." However, I have found that some of these longer workouts, I do the runs as well. They do talk a lot about like current events or whatever's going on through their head and what they're feeling, and they'll sing along with the songs. It's kind of like having a friend there. But for me personally, this is just me. I just don't feel like that's always for me. I don't know if I like them talking about them all the time. I would consider that like some sort of let's call it an emotional pool, where they're putting stuff into the pot, where they're trying to support you. They're putting energy into this pot that's supposed to support you. You're paying money and you're jumping on this thing so that these coaches could be like, hey, you can do it one more minute. You came here because this is hard, and you can do hard things. Let's go. And that makes sense. But when they start talking about themselves and the difficulty that they had, it is very relatable. But at the same time, I feel like some days they're pulling away from the pot. It's almost like you have to support them. And maybe some people enjoy that. They find strength in kind of paying it forward, helping the instructors, and it's kind of a reciprocal kind of thing. Maybe it sounds cold, but I'm not sure if that's what I'm doing the Peloton for. I'm not there to support those coaches. Like, they are kind of like celebrities, but I'm just not there to be like, oh, let me cheer this person on. I guess that's a long way of saying that I prefer the Tonal, at least in this stage of my fitness. I prefer the Tonal in terms of them being a little bit more focused and just more direct. But I wish that Peloton had that too. I wish their instructors are totally capable of that, but I wish that they focused a little bit more on that. And when I say like more technical, as an example, I wish that the running instructors, they're just, they would say like, listen, if you are a beginner, you need to focus on X. Like, where do your hands go when you run? And sometimes they do talk about that, but I think that they should constantly reiterate on those things. And number two is like, let's talk about your posture. Let's talk about, your shoulders. Let's talk about how you're breathing. Let's talk about your heart rate. It'd be interesting to see them talk more about the technique and just to talk about the feeling. It's like, hey, if you're feeling some sort of pain, you should do a recovery run, or just take a day off. They get into that a little bit, but most of the time they're just talking about their day or something else. At least that's the feeling I get. And that's the type of curriculum that the Peloton offers. And I think that's for some people. And some days it's for me, but most days I find myself kind of tuning out of that stuff. Yeah, I mean, so that's telling me more about myself than it does for you, but I just want to explain to you that there's a difference between the Peloton instructors and the Tonal instructors. I would say between the two, the Peloton instructors, they are definitely more entertaining, they're more personable, they're more relatable. That part is very hard to do. Like even me trying to talk in front of the camera and to keep people entertained or to give information and be educational and entertaining at the same time is very hard. So the fact that they can do it is just absolutely amazing. The Tonal, they try to be a little bit entertaining, but they focus more on the instruction, and I really can appreciate that. It's still very early for their product. And I think that as they grow, so will their instructors, so will, they're going to take a lot of the information, a lot of the feedback they have from their customers, and they'll improve it. I think at the end of the day, there's no, better instructors. I think it comes down to what you like and where you're at and what type of personalities you like and the type of workouts you like. I think that the Peloton will offer you way more variety in instructor types. So you have many more people to pick from, a lot more personalities, a lot more diversity in that way. And I think it suits that type of workout. It is going to be less technical and more entertaining. And if that's what you want, that's totally cool. And if you want something where the instructors are a little bit more technical and they're helping you with very specific kind of mechanics of lifting so that you don't get injured, the Tonal is way better at that. So they'll give you a lot more information. You just don't want to get hurt. When you're working out with one of these things, like you don't want to you don't want to tear something in your shoulder, you want to hurt your back, you want to hurt your neck. So they're very specific about what you need to do with the Tonal, like especially when you're under load, when it's very heavy, and when you're pushing your limit, that is very important. So always room to improve. Like it's almost like they need to kind of learn a little bit from each other. That would be the best thing, but I do think that the Tonal is the better one for me. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you joining me and like us just talking about, instructors. It's kind of a privilege to have these pieces of equipment and to actually have an opinion and to kind of share that. And by no means is this a judgment to any of the instructors there. I actually really like all of them. It's just what I'm looking for, me personally. And if you like these other instructors, that's awesome. That's finally, you found someone that you like and you can bring them home to your house, invite them to your house, and you can watch them and work out with them. And that's the better feeling out of everything. So that's great. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and I'll see you all very soon. All right, cheers.